Crazy though, I was thinking the other day. I was looking at some stuff on Facebook. And just for the record, I don't really be on Facebook like a lot of shit you see posted from me on Facebook be shit that I scheduled in another app to send to Facebook, or that I shared from somewhere else that I actually don't mind spending time at, like maybe Instagram. You know what I'm saying? But
which is weird, right? Because it's the same company,
Yeah.
right?
But the difference for me is on Instagram, I can go. Like I can just look at pictures. I don't even have to read what you wrote. I can look at the picture and derive my own understanding of what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Right. If I really want to know, then I read it. But I don't have to. Facebook is a lot of reading. And I love to read, but I love to read what I want to read. Like I don't love to read a bunch of random rambling by people who are unhappy with their lives. I don't got time for it. I'm unhappy with my life, motherfucker. What we talking
That's
about?
Why I'm not on Twitter, right?
I'm working.
That's why I'm not on Twitter, man.
I deleted X from my phone. It's gone. I don't even fuck with that shit. Yeah. I don't even know if I deleted my account. I just deleted the app, period. Like I might need to go check that out, actually. I might need to go check that out. I'm bugging.
He might be trying to charge you right now, you know what I mean? Just for having the real estate.
You feel me? Like you can't charge me, but if you ain't about gravitas, leave me alone, nigga. Like leave me alone. Man, oh, by the way, just when I know we was talking, hey, y'all listen. This is a quick, like we talking to y'all anyway, but we really talking to each other. But I'm about to say this to y'all. I know what you used to seeing when a Seven Da Pantha album come out. I know. Don't worry. You still gonna see it. It's just happening different this time. And there's a lot of reasons why it's happening different this time, and it's not a bad thing. Not at all. It's working out the way it's supposed to for a reason. But there are visuals coming. They are on the way. You know we love to tell a story. The visuals are coming, and they're going to tell the story. Also, the Virtuoso EP produced by Van Guns is all written. Beats are done. The recording going to get done in the next 2 days. Paul Mac mixing that. It's going to be dope. I fuck with Van. Y'all already know me and Guns don't miss, yo. Montu, I'm him. Like, we don't miss. We make it do what it do. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that, man. Mojo Barnes, Son of the Morning, is on the way. I've been hearing some of the records.
Yo, if y'all don't know, to actually drop in. Yo,
fire. You was there that night. Yeah,
I was there the other night, man. Oh, it's fire. So yeah, check that out. That's coming out soon.
And of course, Book of the Monster Volume 1. I promise y'all, I know we've said it 10,000 times. I know we have. I promise you it's coming. Not only is the album coming, but there are so many other things that are part. If y'all had any clue how Monster's mind actually works when he's not in front of this camera making jokes for y'all, if you had any idea, you would be like, whoa, Kotu coming. Kotu coming. You know what I'm saying? Emerald Beat coming. Like, dog. There are people who say the city's mine. You can have your city. Go ahead. If you think that's what you're really doing. That's not what this is about. This is about the Northwest eating. Because there's so much talent here, but there's no industry here. And you know why there's no industry here? Because y'all keep thinking y'all the industry and you playing the game backwards. That's why there ain't no industry here. You ain't gave motherfuckers a reason to want to come here.
We going there? We gonna do this?
Yeah.
Because you know that's my beef, right? You know that's my beef. Been up here 10 years, right? 10 years.
Bro.
So if y'all don't know, I come from the Bay Area, right? Bay Area, we have industry. We've had industry. It came, it went, and then we keep it going. Independent scene is huge. The Russell's doing things huge. The Click is still doing things huge. You got JT from the back of the day. Huge, right? So I come from that lineage, right? And I get up here and I see nothing but talent everywhere. But there's no A&R. There's no record labels that really help nobody out. There's like what my homegirl Julie C constantly says, there's gatekeepers everywhere trying to keep people out of stuff and whatever. I'm just like, why? There's so much talent up here. We could all be eating because there's no corruption in that way that I saw back home. You know what I mean? But I guess they got your own stuff, right? There's their own stuff everywhere, right? But it doesn't make no sense. It doesn't make any sense for these people to be like, running their whole career for like donations. You know what I mean? Like doing free shows. You know what I mean? Like these venues not eating like they should, barely getting people in the doors, and they're dope locations. They're great places. Like this place has some of the most intimate venues where you can actually be with the actual artists, you know what I mean? And really get that energy and that vibe. I've seen big artists come down here, like, you know, like the RZA. I've seen like, you know, I've seen big artists. I'm gonna be good. I've seen big artists come down here and, you know, and be intimate with the audience because of the way the venues are set up. And, you know, it's ridiculous that, you know, we don't really show out like we should here. Like we don't take care of each other like we should here. So we're gonna change that. We're gonna change all of it. And that's,
you know what? I think the funniest thing of all is, for me, almost every place I've been where I wasn't from there, and you know, and I was there on some music shit. As soon as they heard me, and then we got to talking, it was like, oh, he cool. Like we can build, you know what I'm saying? Like I got homies everywhere, like from music, you know what I'm saying? So I think the thing that bugged me out the most when I first got here was I was embraced by a certain sect of people, you know what I'm saying? But a lot of that came from some connections I made prior to me moving here, you know what I'm saying? So and that was all internet shit. Like, okay, I don't know, did I ever tell you? Okay, check. You know what, before I do that, let's get to business.
I'm flyer than everybody. You're on cloud 9, higher than everybody. We stepping out on the town, we sliding every party.
Ooh, sidebars with drugs beats coming up. Ooh, hi. He talking with his hands, but I'm about to have him talking on camera. Word up. But yeah, so welcome to the show, Pantha Politix Podcast. Y'all already know what time it is. Y'all see it. Hip hop culture is in the building. This is still a hip hop podcast. I promise you it is, no matter what we talking about, because we are hip hop. So it's still creeping. I'm gonna prove it to you tonight. But you know me, man. Seven Da Pantha, aka the Carolina Hurricane, ridiculous slang, aka your baby mama's favorite rapper, aka Pie Strickland, if you getting the point. And you know, TV laughing. He like, yo, this nigga's crazy.
Every time, man, you be killing me with the intros every single time. Just say what? It's that your favorite baby's mama. That
Your baby mama's favorite rapper. Hey,
you know?
I remember the first time I ever said that, I was like, yo, that's wild. I gotta keep that one. Like, so yeah, it became a thing. Huh? Oh no, you okay? Oh man. I'm sorry, y'all. My grandson is having a moment. He needed to holler at me. Word?
I fixed it.
You okay?
It. Okay. Okay, come on.
All right.
Let's go.
That's what's up.
Okay,
I love you,
bye,
man.
Grandpa. Say bye.
Bye-bye. Oh, he's not done. Okay.
I got more to say, Grandpa. Hold on.
Yeah, he's like, hold on, bro. I'm not done.
Yeah,
let me get up there. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, I decided I was gonna keep that one. And then, you know, Pie Strickland just kind of came. It actually came while we was doing All Purpose one night. I was doing the intro, and I was like, your baby mama's favorite rapper, aka Pie Strickland. And you know, Rod Strickland's one of my favorite point guards ever. If you get in the point, and it's somebody heard it and was like, yo, that's lit. You got to keep that. I was like, all right, cool. I'll run with it. But yeah, I like the monikers and shit. We can come up with monikers for everybody. We're gonna make all that shit. We're gonna make all that shit happen. For sure. But y'all know. Salute the Monster Elicit. Salute the Mojo Barnes, who now Mojo Barnes will be here eventually. Eventually. You know, at some point. But right now, you got me, and of course you got my brother P7. What's going on, brother?
How y'all doing? How you doing?
Everything is everything, man. Oh man. So what was I talking about? Oh, when I came to Washington. Yeah. So I came to Washington. It was May 2016. I get to Washington. Nah, it wasn't raining at all. That's the crazy part. Yeah. Like,
I was doing it back in the day.
Oh yeah. Yo, I gotta find out. Oh man, I gotta show you some shit. Like I'm gonna send you some shit that I'm about to get. Let's get ready to take this shit to the next level. But so I get here. I roll up in Seattle. It's like 6:20. You know what I'm saying? And so I go to Pratt Park in Seattle in the CD. I get out the car, walking up the hill. Now, mind you, I ain't never met none of these people in person. And I ain't the type of motherfucker to just be a weirdo and be staring at your pictures on the internet to remember what you look like. If it just so happen you have a unique face or something that stands out to me, then I remember that. So I'm walking up the hill, and all of a sudden I heard somebody say, "Oh my goodness, he made it." I was like, "The fuck?" I don't want to beat nothing, so it's just some shit I'm just not gonna say. But so it was a group of people there, you know what I'm saying, that I had gained a connection with. And they were really excited to see me. So, you know what I'm saying? I was excited to see them. I was glad the fucking drive was over. You know what I'm saying? That shit was crazy.
North Carolina, man.
I drove from North Carolina to Jersey. We shot a video in Jersey. Well, we shot the first half of the video in Jersey. We shot the second half of the video in Brooklyn the next day with Skyzoo. So we left from Brooklyn. I like, mind you, bust it. So that night, I'm up. The night we was in Jersey, I end up being up to like 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Wake up the next day, got to get my shit together, get the fuck out the room, and get to Brooklyn. So we get to Brooklyn, boom, we out there doing our thing. You know what I'm saying? I leave straight from the video, take AP to the airport in Newark, and then start driving west. You know what I'm saying? So I'm fucked up. Like, I've been rapping all day. I've been smoking weed. You know what I'm saying? I drove 18 hours that first day. 18
first day.
18. But the fucked up part.
You start seeing pink elephants?
Nah, I didn't. The fucked up part is what I didn't see. I'm coming through the backside of Wisconsin, pause. And going into Minnesota, pause. But it was a point where I don't remember anything. And I realized that I was asleep driving the car.
Yeah, no, for real. That's real. That happens.
So, yeah, bro.
Mm-hmm. That's actually, real talk. Since we only have real talk here, that's how my grandfather died, man. He used to run trucks back and forth from Illinois down to the South, and they come back and forth, back in the day. And he fell asleep at the wheel, and because he'd been running hours, doing overtime. This is before they had the mandatory sleep hours and all that kind of stuff, or whatever. This is back in the 30s. My man was running stuff, So, and people forget, back in the 30s, we had highway robbers, like legit. Yes. Dudes would hit your truck and take your stuff. You know what I mean? So my grandfather, he had to stay awake. He had a little shotgun.
Yeah, that's real shit. Like, man, it's crazy to me sometimes when I think about how much things have changed, but not. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's crazy to me. But I completely did it again. I'm sorry. I'm high. I got off track again. So
go ahead.
Got to Seattle. Of course, everybody that's there knows I rap. I already done Shooting Stars with Trust One, the first one, but he was over here, I was over there. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't meet in person until I came out here the previous March before I moved out here. When I came out here March the year before that, that's when I met Trust in person. So long story less long, there's a tour about to happen, and they're like, "Yo, you want to roll?" And I'm like, "Sure, why not?" You know what I'm saying? Ain't like I got shit else to do right now. So, I got my rental, and I'm driving down the highway on this tour, and we get to San Francisco. We having a cipher. They end up having, a cipher start just break out. You know what I'm saying? Out of nowhere, and I'm standing there and I'm not saying shit, which is very un-7. It's very un-7. But
Laryngitis?
Nah, like I really was just taking the moment in, you know what I'm saying? Because like I ain't heard some of these people rap before, or what I heard of them, I only heard on a song on the internet or some shit. Like I don't know who y'all are. Let me see what y'all got. And some of y'all actually freestyling off the top. So let me see where y'all at. You know what I'm saying? So the cipher done went around twice and I ain't said shit. So then finally, my man Adam say, "So you're not gonna rap, huh?" I was like, "All right, man." So I step up to the cipher and shit, and I start blacking out. I'm higher than giraffe tonsils on my mom. Like I'm going with it. And so I blacked out. And I don't know how long I was rapping, but I was rolling. And I opened my eyes and the whole cipher was like, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of like literally my introduction to a certain bracket of the music scene in Washington. And I've seen the same thing that you noticed. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of cliquishness and people pretending to be stars, pretending that their little label is really doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's only a few crews, it's only a few companies that's actually making, like Proof Avenue doing things. Salute to Anthony Danza. Proof Avenue doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a few. I ain't getting ready to start naming motherfuckers because if I don't say one, motherfuckers gonna trip. But like,
you're mad, right?
Yeah. So I mean, I feel you. It makes me mad because, like you said, there is a lot of talent here, and I didn't expect to find as much. Especially in hip hop, I didn't expect to find as much talent as there is here.
No, really. I mean, I came in here really thinking I was going to be promoting EDM and like, you know, DJs more so than, you know, than actual hip hop artists. And after, what was it, like 2014, 2015 with the Upstairs and that kind of stuff, you know, seeing everybody out there and just seeing how many rappers there were out there. And I was just like, they're actually good. You know what I mean? They have their own styles, but they're good, you know? And I was just like, okay, so, you know, are you on a label? Do you belong to? And they're just like, no, we're just part of the crew. We just do this, whatever. I'm like, dang, okay, all right. I'm gonna change tack, right? Because actually, honestly, there was no real DJs either. You know, at that time, there was just because all the clubs shut down and things were transitioning and whatnot. All this, you know, construction was going on downtown, so everything was transitioning, and so you know, there was no real DJ scene. There was no real hip hop scene, but the hip hop scene was underground. It was way underground. And when I found it, I was just like, dang, okay, all right. That's where I met you.
Extreme, you know, underground. Yeah.
Hmm?
In some cases, extreme underground, for real.
Like like in old city Seattle, like you know how they do the tours, right? Like they rent out a room down there and under the pits, and they do it in the catacombs. Yeah, that was 2015. We did 2 shows down in the catacombs, and that was interesting to say the least because we just didn't have the power and all that, right? So the power kept blowing out. It was weird. It was wild because when the power goes out, the lights go out, and you underground. So everybody's just like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like everything's dark.
Batcave shit.
Yeah, no, seriously.
Batcave shit. Oh, that's crazy. Oh man. Yo, I think I would love to I would love for people to get a look at some of the footage you have of over the years of Seattle hip hop. Let me say Northwest hip hop. Let me not just say Seattle. Because even West Coast, period. Because even with just me, you've been out of Washington. Yeah. So like, you know what I'm saying? And I know beyond that, you know what I'm saying, you are a traveling man. So I fuck with that. Yeah. He's a traveling man.
Yeah, right. There's actually, you know, you got that song in Kwaku the Traveler. I don't know if you heard him, but that was my anthem a couple of years back. And we were traveling all over the place, going down to the Caribbean and traveling all over. And that was every time we get ready to leave, get on the plane, you know, just remember, Kwaku the Traveler. That's me. I'm out. I made that back. I don't know.
No doubt.
Loving it though. But no, yeah, definitely. Me and Moss are actually working on some programming that's going to be bringing some of the old stuff back that we had recorded, you know, back in the day, and just you know, we found that DJ Peg, shout out to DJ Peg, he just dropped an anthology on Seattle hip hop, like from the 70s up to like, you know, almost the time frame that I showed up. So, so he's covered that, so you should check that out. I have no links for you right now because it just dropped. We'll get that. It'll be somewhere for you. But, so we've been covering, this evolution of hip hop for almost 2-3 decades now. It's crazy.
Yes.
And I feel blessed to be a part of it, that I just rolled in when I did, met the people that I did, because I'm still friends with them to this day. We still do projects to this day. So, it's nice to know that you're a part of something in the city. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
And so now we're just going to get you there because you're all over the place. People know you in Tacoma. They know you in Portland. They know you, in Seattle too. They're starting to get to know you up in Everett, up in Bellingham, and that kind of stuff. So you're going to be a part of the entire Northwest scene. You know what I mean? I was just part of a little sliver happening in Seattle for a minute.
Hey man, shit, that's bro. Like you literally captured some very poignant moments. Even if they weren't moments where there were a crowd full of people. Sometimes the most amazing shit happened when there ain't enough people there the people that should have seen it wasn't there to see it. But we was there and we saw it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel bad for people who have taken the wrong approach to their expectation in regards to Northwest hip hop. And I think the problem with it becomes the things that they've been given to represent the region. I think one of the No, go ahead.
No, I mean, other than Mix-a-Lot and Macklemore, right? Who really has represented now? Okay, Blue Scholars, right? Raw Scion,
most people don't know where they from.
Exactly.
Don't know where Blue Scholars from.
They only have no idea, right? So it's like you have some real gems that have come out of here, but you just don't know. And then you have the ones that actually do represent it. You're just like, okay. I mean. Okay, no shade on those folks, but it's like that's not the best. That's not the best that you have to offer. That's not the best, and I've seen it now. So it's kind of crazy now that I get the chance to actually bring that out. And anyway, I'm not going to jump the gun on the network and all the stuff that we're doing, but like you said, I think it's the expectation, right? Because most people just expect like out of hip hop out of here should be I don't know what grunge. Should be like it is depressing. A lot of the stuff because a lot of the stuff is introspective, But it's a lot of activism. There's a lot of also just like fun, goofy stuff that's experimental and stuff that comes out of here that pushes the boundaries. A lot of these beats that people are hearing, or whatever, some of them actually originate from up here. And shout out to Castellini, Freddie Ron beats, all these other guys, they've been putting out beats to people in the game for a minute, so they blend a lot of different styles and stuff like that up here. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I always call Seattle, or at least the Northwest, the lab for hip hop, right? Because I see a lot of cats come up here and experiment and then it's accepted. So people can have fun. But then they go back home, refine that shit.
I've done a whole lot of shit since I've been here that I would have never took the shot to do prior in my career. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like, fuck it. I'm gonna just do it. Like, and I think that's good though. I think that there's a lot of positives that come out of that because there may be something that's in your arsenal that you may have been underutilizing because you weren't aware how well it would be received by people. And then you do it, and it's like, oh shit, that's fire. And you're like, oh, word, you fuck with that? All right. Like even the what was it? I think the first time I ever did the chop flow was on Unbreakable, and nobody ever heard me do it before. And it's people who never even really heard me rap fast before, but like they don't realize that I was in a group that we specialized in that. You know what I'm saying? We rap fast all the time. I slowed it down because I was like, people got to be able to digest what I'm saying. But one of the things that I have learned being here, and it's this is as a matter of fact, let me say this for all of y'all artists out there, no matter where you're from. Stop thinking your scene is the pits and everywhere else is dope. It's bullshit. It's bullshit. Everywhere's fucked up. The independent scene is fucked up everywhere. Don't let nobody fool you. It's all fucked up. I've been on shows in Los Angeles with motherfuckers that I know was buzzing outside of Los Angeles. It wasn't nobody there.
That's so real. That's so real. I've covered shows like film shows, and there'd be 6 people in the audience, and 2 of them are their parents. You know, I mean, it's nice. It's nice. But yet, when I come out, like I go back up to the Bay Area, or I went to Georgia, their songs playing in heavy rotation in the independent, circuit. And I'm like, how is no one showing up to this show? And it was a big venue. It was bad because there's like I said, 6 people, just 6, just nobody. But hey, to his credit, he performed as if there were 6,000 people there, right? He gave all the energy and that kind of stuff. So, I mean, that's true performance, and that's the real scene. That's how it is sometimes. Sometimes it's just people just don't show up. But record sales are not the same thing as performance. Performance is not the same thing as bars. You know what I mean? Like, I think we're kind of confused on, I don't know. I don't want to get on like a soapbox like KRS-One or anything like that. You know what I mean? Because I'm not into the religion so much, but there is definitely, I think, a way that you should be looking at hip hop as more than just, I want to get on, I drop a good song, and then people are going to blow up and love me and all that kind of stuff. No, it's a craft that you work your way through. Like you said, you never did chopping before, or you specialized in it first. You slowed it down for the audience so they can digest really what you wanted to say. And then you're like, yo, I came back here and people chop and they still have things to say and it's poignant and they like it. Cool. I'm going back to this style. So you're playing with your craft constantly, right? What's more important, record sales or your skill set? I mean, the two should meet, hopefully. You know what I mean? As you get better skills, the sales go up. But it's really for you. This life journey, this craft that you've chosen is for you and your growth. So it's, you put it out and you hope people vibe with it. But hey, that's like, 3 Stack said, it don't matter. This is for me. I just wanted to make this. You know what I mean? Yeah. So,
and I love that perspective too. You know what? There's absolutely people don't understand it. People don't understand it, but Andre 3000 is in my top 5 MCs ever. I've had an abundant respect for him since the first time I heard him rap. I was like, yo, who the fuck is that? Oh, this Outkast. No, I get it. Who's that? Oh, that's Dre. What Dre? Andre. That's Andre. Andre who? Nah, it's just Andre. I was like, okay. But then album number 2 comes, and now it's Andre 3000. And I'm like, why Andre 3000? And then I heard the album, and I was like, ha! Yup. Andre 3000 makes perfect sense.
Yo, I'm a big like Afrofuturism fan, right? Because I like sci-fi and all that good stuff or whatever. And when Andre did Prototype and like there was like Deltron 3030 was doing like Deltron did Deltron 3030 and all those, oh man, I was like, yo, I like this. Because like I'm an old, P-Funk, Bill Clinton, Funkadelic, fan and all that good stuff too. So,
George Clinton, not Bill.
Yeah, George. No, not Bill, right? No, well, we and him used to smoke, but no, George Clinton. And I'm an Obo fan, Bootsy, all that. So that style of just being all kind of, psychedelic and wild and just kind of like whatever, and still having that cool jazzy harmonies and all that kind of stuff. Like Prototype again is like that one for me, for Andre. I just keep busting that on.
Man, but that's crazy, yo. You know what? I'm gonna fight Mojo for real. Nah, I'm joking. I'm fucking around. But I did. It's been a lot of wild shit happening. There's been some weird shit happening. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say this now, before we proceed to whatever's going to happen next. There's some shit that we need to talk to y'all about. Okay. And it's very befitting of the name of the show. But we didn't want to half-ass it and do it light. We want to make sure that we bring you the correct information and we are able to give you clear perspective on it. Plus, we would like to have more than 2 of us here to have the conversation. So,
I mean, I can rant, but really, you don't want to hear it.
It'll just turn into, speech and then speech. All right, we out. You know what I'm saying? So, but come back and fuck with us next week. And we got Renee Davis from Melanin Mayhem dropping by next week.
Nice.
She is an absolute monster. She your favorite country girl, as she say. Yeah, if you haven't, check out Melanin Mayhem. Salute the Melanin Mysteries, by the way, who was our first Pantha podcast. Oh, somebody's calling me. Pardon, can't answer.
Sorry.
That's shit crazy. Oh shit, hold on 1 second.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't want to have to beep shit. So we don't do that here. Except when Edom Mad Assassin say somebody's name he ain't supposed to say. But anyway. What up, E?
I miss some days.
Oh man. But yeah, we're gonna get into some shit. It's a lot of shit happening. The world is changing in a lot of ways that are relevant, particularly to those of us who are of the hip-hop generation. Because we are the elder statesmen and stateswomen of the communities at this point. Most of us. A lot of the grandparents have passed away. A lot of people fell victim to a lot of things that we found successful ways to circumvent for ourselves. So yeah, we definitely want to talk to y'all about a lot of shit that's moving right now. About some orange scourge. Anyway, y'all know where we at.
Yeah.
So make sure y'all stay tapped in, man, because we would definitely love to hear y'all input as well. Talk to us in the comments on social media, YouTube, whatever. We'll holler back. We'll holler back for sure.
We're definitely gonna be putting we're gonna be putting those videos down in the description, right? So people can kind of watch it and that kind of stuff to get their own opinion. Oh, really?
That's not good.
Oh no. Am I out? Can you hear me now?
Do it again.
Yeah. So we're definitely gonna be.
I know what's wrong.
What's up? What's up?
I know exactly what's wrong.
You just said you can't talk.
I just said somebody was trying to call me, right? So when that person tried to call me, it knocked my headphones offline.
Oh.
So let me fix that.
I'm talking to myself. That's cool.
Oh shit. Cool. Okay. That's more like it.
You hear me now? You got me.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. So yeah, anyway. Well, we're definitely gonna be putting down in the description and that kind of stuff, some of the videos that we're gonna be watching and that kind of stuff, so people can watch them and then they can, comment on them and keep the conversation going and that kind of stuff or whatever. But yeah, we'll like Seth said, we want to half-ass it. We wanted to make sure that we got our facts straight. We wanted to make sure that because it is kind of heavier topics, but some illuminating topic that definitely hit on the time that we're in right now. So,
oh yeah, hell yeah, please believe it. P. Yeah, I was hoping Mojo was gonna be here by now so we could do this, but I gotta do it. I gotta do it. I saw something today that troubled my spirit. It troubled my spirit deeply. In fact, I almost wanted to cry. I'll share it with you.
Yes, please do tell. I mean, okay. Like, me and Liz. You know me and how I feel about lists, man. Like, now I saw the list. You sent me this. You sent me this like a couple hours ago, and I had a chance to just kind of take a quick glance at it, for like 20 minutes in the bathroom. And I was looking at it, and honestly, I don't see a problem with this list for the most part if we're just going by sales. If we're going by sales, if we're going by impact, I don't really see a problem with this list. However, if you're going by talent and you're going by skill, there's a lot of people missing from this list that really should be on this list. That's all I'm saying.
Me, I got a lot of problems with this list. I got a lot of problems with this list.
Do tell.
Well, I love Missy Elliott. Love Missy Elliott. To me, Missy Elliott is the quintessential entertainer. She can dance, she can sing, she can rap, she writes songs, she's creative visually. She does everything. But if we're talking about the best women rappers, nah. No.
As producers, yeah.
As a producer, absolutely. Songwriter, absolutely.
Right?
If you want to just say artist, absolutely, she's up there. But if you're just talking about rappers, nah.
That's what I said. I mean, there should be a lot of people on this list that actually should be on this list that aren't on this list. Then so other people, like I said, this is probably based on sales. This is based on sales because I don't really think that Little Kim should be on that list. I mean, honestly, sales wise, okay, great. But
I love Kim, man. I don't know. That's how we have to agree. Disagree on that one. I love Kim, man.
And so that's the crazy part. That's the hard part, right? How do you even make a list like this? Based on what? What's your criteria? And that goes back to our conversation we had before about hip hop and what we really base on. Is it sales? Is it skills? Is it what? Is it impact? I mean, how do we do that? But this, I mean,
you know what? I'm gonna take these back down for just a second. Okay.
Like,
I mean, I got one.
I'm looking at the list.
Uh-huh.
Where's Lauryn Hill at? Okay, there she is, number 3. Okay.
Number 3.
Why is she number 3? Right? Why is she number 3? When we're talking about like Missy Elliott as far as talent all the way around, but Lauren's a better rapper than Missy.
Absolutely.
I mean, just right.
Absolutely.
So, and then Latifah is definitely a better rapper than both of them. I mean, Lauren hits. Don't get me wrong, but Latifah can freestyle. She can do a lot of stuff. I mean,
here's my question. Here's my question for you. How much do we deduct for people not writing their own verses?
Ooh, okay. They shouldn't even be on the list. That's the criteria of hip hop, right? So this is not even a hip hop list.
So I was about to say, because if we taking points away for not writing their own shit, Queen Latifah taking a hit, Lil Kim taking a hit, MC Lyte taking a hit, Salt and Pepper taking a hit. Cardi B completely off the list. She don't write nothing.
Trina.
Man, it's a lot of them. The Brat didn't write her first album. Jermaine Dupri wrote that. So there you go. And she could rap. He just said, you don't know how to make a hit yet. I know you can rap. You just don't know how to make a hit. Let me show you. Okay, cool. But I can't take that away. You performed a whole album with somebody else's raps. Just saying.
I mean, but if you're industry, right? Don't you have people writing your own stuff? Is that just automatic? I mean, how many female rappers actually say, no, I'm just gonna write my own?
From what I understand, Nicki writes her shit, Missy writes her shit, Lauren writes her shit. Does
Nicki really write her own shit?
That's always been the word. That's always been the word. From the beginning that Nicki writes. Hey. Yo, on the real, I gotta say this publicly because I ain't never said it out loud. Mm-hmm. I ain't a fan of the shit she be on. That's weirdo shit. A lot of shit she be on. Nicki Minaj can fucking rap, yo. Like, and when you talk about putting words together on a record, Nicki Minaj can rap. And I don't think she's out of this world superstar or nothing, but she can definitely rap. But yeah, she don't. If you're talking about, like you said, if you're talking sales and all them other things, then I guess putting her at number 1 makes the most sense. Cool. But if we just talking, we only talking skill. You got to come out that seat. That's not yours. It's not yours. How the fuck you got Rhapsody at number 17?
Yeah.
Huh?
See, again, I got to see how they're judging this. What's the criteria? How are we actually judging this? Is it you write your own rhymes, you get 5 points, right? If you can sing and dance, you get another 5 points, 10 points total, right? You know what I mean? If your record sales are up platinum 5 times over, do you get like another 50 points because you're dope? Is that how we're doing it? How are we actually judging this? Because like I don't know. This is industry. This is the industry standard. So what is the industry standard? Right?
Okay, here go. I found a criteria.
Okay, cool.
And this is Billboard, by the way.
Oh, well.
So
all right then.
the following criteria: body of work and achievements, charted singles, albums, gold, platinum certifications, cultural impact and influence, how the artist's work fostered the generation's evolution, longevity, years at the mic, lyrics, storytelling skills, and flow. So here's my thing. If that's the criteria that you're utilizing, there's a whole lot of people that belong on this list that don't get there. It's a whole lot of people that belong on this list that don't get there if that's what you're judging it off of.
Okay, so
Jean Grey should be
there. What's that?
Jean Grey should be there. No questions asked. Jean Grey's probably I love Lauryn Hill. Everybody knows I love Lauryn Hill. Jean Grey's probably the best female, and I hate to even say female rapper that happens to be a female that I've ever heard. She's incredible. So I'm like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but she's not going to make this list because she's chose to stay underground. She could have went the other way. She's beautiful. She could have went the other way. She was like, nah, I'm going to keep on my baggy Jones and my backpack, and I'm about to kick. Give me your head, nigga. Pause. But like, yeah.
See, okay, so how many of these had to go through the industry, gambit and make themselves into the look of the time, right? I mean, if we go back to that list or whatever, it's like you got all those. They had Tifa, you know what I mean? Queen Latifah had the Soul Sister look and all that good stuff. And it wasn't like she was trying to play, she was countering, what they were trying to make her into, which is cool, and Light did the same thing. She stayed on the butch side and, this is what I like. I'm a homegirl around the way. This is how I am. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so that's cool. And so like, but how many of the other ones that are higher on that list had to go through the gambit? Were made and weren't, they didn't craft themselves. You know what I mean?
If you take away the writing around part, Nicki Minaj was made. They paid for all of that.
Oh, I mean, and that's like that kind of follow that whole vein, right? They're all made, right? So how much of this is actually real talent, or just that we can manufacture a good product? You know what I mean?
$1 million question.
So, yeah.
$1 million.
So it's just like, maybe we need to go back to the roots. Maybe, not the actual group, but to the roots of hip hop and take a little Billboard, take a little of the 17 overstandings, do a little mix up and say, okay, this is going to be the criteria how we judge the GOAT. Because, we got into it, a couple weeks back about the GOAT conversation and how I get all pissed off about that. Because it's not that it's subjective, right? It's not that being the GOAT is subjective to whoever's listening to it or whatever. There are some serious criteria, that is there. And Billboard kind of has it right. I mean, impact is a big thing, but is impact really, is it positive or negative? That's always my question. Did it help push the culture forward? Or did it cause it to go down a route that now we're trying to claw ourselves back from? I would say gangster rap when it first came out was bad. Bad for the culture because they didn't understand the poetry, the way that they were trying to depict it, that this was a kind of a reflection, you know what I mean? It took Ice Cube or Ice-T to sit there and go in front of a congressional hearing, you know what I mean? To try to explain it, like, this is our art, this is what we're trying to do, so... But I know, right? But it opened the door for them to go and kill us in mass or put us in jail, but just because we're bumping music that talked about stuff. Yeah, we don't like cops. Why would we? You know what I mean? Like, yeah, we're bumping it, but doesn't mean I'm gonna sit there and go shoot up your whole house. Calm down, right? I'm just pissed off right now because y'all just constantly running your sirens in my neighborhood, or you shot my friend the other day, or you hit me up for jaywalking and then decided to sit me on the side of the road, making me look like an asshole in front of everybody. You know what I mean? Like, just for jaywalking.
Suck ass motherfuckers. Suck ass motherfuckers. Nah, I feel you. Like so check it. This is my thing, right? As far as all of that. And I don't want to go too crazy on the list. I mean, the list, it's a Billboard list first and foremost. So I mean, it don't really mean shit to me, no way. But I'm probably one of the. Nah, I ain't gonna say that. I will say this though. I'll say that when I first saw the list, the first thing that came to my mind was, what's funny to me, the more I think about it, no matter how massive hip hop stranglehold on the culture has been, it's done that because of us and in spite of us, all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So here's my thing. Bang, Billboard made their list. People get up in arms, they get upset, they have their conversations, they have their debates, they get into arguments. Some people might throw punches, and then the question becomes, but my question to you is, since when does Billboard define the greatest MC? Or even the greatest rapper? Since when was it their job to do that? Billboard tells you who sold how many records and certify them shits gold, platinum. Okay, cool. Thanks. All you can tell me is how many times my record sold. That's what you can tell me.
Right.
That has no bearing whatsoever on how talented I am. Because if talent was a prerequisite for success, we would be doing this podcast in an extremely large studio, really plush, all in the same spot, because we all live somewhere very comfortable and can do what the fuck we want.
What do you mean? I do. I mean, look at.
I said house. We all, nigga.
I love this backdrop, man.
That's just fire. That's just fire. Hell yeah. That's just dope. Oh my god, yo, that's crazy. But nah, it is a valid question though. When we start thinking about shit, and here's the thing.
I mean,
the industry is. I think the industry is. It's so much as part of the smoke screen. You know what I'm saying? That it's hard for people to tell when something is just that and not the genuine article. You feel me?
I mean, we don't evangelize what the genuine article looks like. We don't take control of, we don't do our own award shows. We don't sit there and get out there and make our own lists. And be like, yo, these are the guys that are really hitting if you've never heard. I mean, you get those independent stations and that kind of stuff that will sit there and, like KDXP, shout out to KDXP, right? That will sit there and make a list every year that, who they get. But they're not also getting everybody. They're getting whoever's willing to submit and, done all the paperwork and stuff like that. But then they're not at every cypher. They're not at every underground show, you know what I mean? Sitting there and really tapping who's really hitting out there and that kind of stuff. But and in this age of streaming, I can stream my favorite artists and it can never really show up on something like a Billboard. And I'm fine. I got my guy, right? But you're never going to hear from him unless I share it with you. And, my people listen to all the same people. So, like, we don't even think twice about it. And when we see lists like this, it's like, that's crazy. Like, why? So, I mean, I feel like there's two lists, right? There's two cultures, actually. And I think this is something that we didn't want to do. Back in the day was like in the debate of what is hip hop versus rap, right? But we didn't want to split the culture in half. But honestly, it needs to be split because industry rappers and industry and all of that, even the producers that do stuff for industry, the same chords, they don't expand on anything. They don't talk about nothing that's really of any real substance. They don't sit there and actually uplift nobody. That's industry, right? So you can take your Drakes and all those people that do that thing by the formula, that's them. We're talking about hip hop. We're talking about real underground hip hop. People, it's based in protest. It's based in storytelling. It's based in skills. It's based in high vocabulary. It's based in engineering real songs, like pulling stuff from the past, paying homage. I mean, these are all the things that Kendrick's been talking about in his damn album, right? Like, this is what actually most rappers who are worth a damn are talking about on their album. Shout out to Slime Tyrant, shout out to you, you know what I mean? That are talking about real stuff. So it's that. Industry is not that. So we need to separate the two. Not saying we go to war with them or nothing like that, but just like, you got to understand the difference you're talking about here. And nobody, if Billboard's putting on a list, none of my people are going to show up on the list. I just know that. Because, yeah, I mean, my people are all about upliftment. My people are not telling you to drink Ciroc; they're telling you to like drink, mineral water and shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's, man, I know so many really dope. And that's where it gets shaky, man, because you don't ever want to tell somebody that it's a bad thing to want to be compensated or in a good financial position because of their art. You don't ever want to tell somebody that you shouldn't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, if you're putting it out for public consumption to some degree, you think like that. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it.
Sure. But okay, let's really look at, like, okay, the people that are on that list, how many of them in private interviews, things like that, find out a couple years later when the NDAs are done, right? Mm-hmm. That they didn't like none of the stuff they put out. They put it out because the industry told them to put it out. They weren't happy with it. Like Cardi B was like, yo, I don't like none of the stuff I put out. That's not good. I got a daughter and all that kind of stuff. Like, I'm trying, but this is what I signed on for. This is the product that I have to produce. So I'm actually kind of curious to see if you took away the industry from those people on the list, what kind of work would they put out? If it was just them, if they're operating how all of us independents operate, what kind of art would you put out? And then would we even have this debate? Right?
You wouldn't even be rapping.
Well, some of them, yeah, exactly, because they don't write their own stuff, right? If you had to do it, they're not making their own videos. They got homies, right? They got the industry throwing $50,000 on it or $150,000 on it just so they can fly to Tetra Pay and be on the beach for 2 seconds. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want that life, bro. By the way, I'm sorry.
Oh, we got it.
I want to be the dude shooting that thing. You know what I mean? Like, I can't lie, but I know it's not. I know I need to have something much larger, and they're gonna want some kind of product from me. So they're not gonna have me do an experimental thing. They're not gonna have me work with the artist and really kind of get their feeling about when they're gonna be like, "Yo, titties and ass sell, cars and money sell. Do that. Shoot me some cars. Shoot me some this. Do that, right?" And I'm gonna be like, "All right, cool. We're rapping in front of a wall instead of rapping in front of the wall for independence. We're rapping in front of a large building that we don't own. You know what I mean? Like that's how we do. So yeah." No, like real hip hop is the Roots video, right? With Erykah Badu, winding that thing back and showing how all of that. Erykah, period. All of her videos are crazy. They have mad depth. Kendrick's videos have mad depth. That's real hip hop because you're telling something not only in the song but the medium the other mediums that you're dealing with. So if it's a music video, I'm giving you all kinds of layers to those images and that kind of stuff on top of the lyrics that complement, right? That's real hip hop. Right. I'm not just producing an album, flashy lights, and that's all you got. I mean,
yeah,
I love Hype Williams, by the way.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, but I can only see bottles popping so many times. That was a time. That was just, that was an era. It needs to move on.
The first time I seen Hype Williams video, when he found his look, I was like, wow, that's crazy. But what convinced me that I wasn't going to be able to stomach it for a really long time? When I watched Belly, it let me know that I wasn't going to be able to continue to see that look. Like, you're going to have to do something else. Like, this is cool. But it's way cooler in 4-minute spurts with really dope music playing. Over the course of a whole movie, this shit gets a little annoying. You know what I'm saying?
Honestly,
that's what let me know.
My first introduction was Belly, right? And so I was like, "What is this?" And I was just getting into film right at that time. Okay. So I'm like, "What is this? Is wild." Now I get you though. It could, like 4-minute spurt, 3 minutes and 35 seconds, 25 minutes. I mean. But if you look at that movie, it kind of breaks up like that. Like there are a series of music videos. That's kind of how it is. It's just like the scenes break up like that. And I kind of went into it thinking that because I knew it was a music video director that made the thing. And it's going to be a bunch of rappers that are going to be in the thing. So I just thought it was going to be a bunch of music videos just kind of stacked together, right? Because they were doing a lot of that where every music video was in the movie, was in the thing, and all this crossover stuff. So I just thought it was going to happen. But I was blown away by the cinematography, man. I was blown away by the way he captured that essence of that gangster life. You know what I mean? But it's like it's that false gangster life. He made it look pretty. You know what I mean? Like you never saw anybody looking at their shoes wondering what they're stepping in. You know what I'm saying? Like you really didn't see like the I don't know, just the real grit of it. He glossed it and he made it look really cool. He
Oh,
did for hip hop what Scarface did for like the cartels and stuff. You know what I mean? Just made it look cool. But I thought he was going to transition. And then when he dipped out, I was like, what happened to High Wheels? So, like, but you're right. It wasn't sustainable. I mean, when he did Nas's video in Times Square, when he was driving around, he took up When I Rule the World, and how much money that costs and all that kind of stuff. Like his videos kept getting more and more expensive. They were gorgeous though, but they just kept getting more and more expensive.
You can't doing that. Yeah. That's crazy. You breaking motherfuckers' whole budget plus.
Just
to do a video.
Just for the video,
And then your video fucking around to be the only one, because the next shit they're gonna have to do have to be with a handheld camera, because you done blew the whole budget on this Hype Williams shit.
I mean, what is it? It was 3 and done, right? You had Missy do her three videos. Puff did some 3 videos with Hype, right? And it wasn't until Real Live Shit, like front to back. I don't even know. I'm horrible with titles, but the one where they brought Biggie back from the dead. Him, Busta Rhymes, and all that. They did that whole the music video that was for Godzilla. You know what I mean? And
hell yeah.
So that was the last time. I think that was the last big budget. You know what I mean? Like music video for hip hop was like during that time. But that's when industry was just loving hip hop for everything.
Man, when that fucking Wu-Tang Triumph video came out and they said it was $1 million, it would cost them $1 million to shoot it. I was like, why? And then I saw it and I was like, oh shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I get it now. This is crazy. Oh, we're gonna have to throw the list back up because
oh, there he is. What's up?
What's up?
Ta-da! Mojo Barnes, Mojo Barnes.
What's up with the background? It's all purpose.
What's going on there?
Oh yeah. I'll take care of that right now.
Oh man,
our big heads was on the screen, so I didn't see that shit. Pause. That shit sounded crazy as fuck, right? But hey man, cross advertising. Chill out. I'm a businessman. I'm not a businessman. I'm a businessman.
Man, my business. Damn.
So I got. So how you doing, brother? Everything good?
Everything's cool. I have made it. I have arrived. Everything's all right.
All right, cool.
That's what's up. Damn, man.
So
hey, that's what's up. Oh, my bad. My Lakers won tonight. But yeah.
All purpose on Monday nights.
Yeah, absolutely. All purpose Monday Night Live every Monday, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern. We get it in. But Mojo, I gotta know, man. How do you feel about this?
Seen it, and I was like, this is not anything that is in relation to the level of it's. I can tell it's not measured in. I was going to say maybe not measured in stage performances. Stage performance, I think it's all just based on numbers, really. And Nicki Minaj really has the ability to sell some records. I think that Nicki Minaj is talented. I don't think that she is out of her range in the top 5. I do think people like, let's see, seeing Remy Ma, Rhapsody So Low. I mean, hell, even Doja Cat, Megan Thee Stallion, Left Eye.
Left Eye.
Interesting to see. Yeah, interesting to see these artists down so close to the bottom. But, some things make sense, some things don't. I think it's all just based off of, I think this was a list that was put together by millennials. I think that's a millennial list. I'm not gonna lie, because you know who was really popping?
Nicki Minaj.
Was Nicki Minaj for a lot of us.
Yeah.
I think Missy Elliott and Lauryn Hill and Lil Kim, Queen Latifah are getting an honorable mention because of the influence they had in the 90s. Not that, no, and that's just based off of my whole assumption of it. This being a list based off of
Oh,
you know, the millennials putting this together.
Like I got punched in the stomach.
I was like,
no. This is not a literal honorable mention in regards to their talent or their skill or anything like that. I just think that somebody who is closer to my age put this list together. I feel. Yeah, because there are people on here, and it's just almost a list of women who rap. That's just what it kind of seems like. Nicki Minaj is usually the first one that you think about when you think of women who rap. I believe, I think that Missy Elliott and Lauryn Hill are honorable mentions just primarily due to what they've done. I think that Missy Elliott has stuck in the back of people's minds because of the fun music that she makes. Lauryn Hill has always had this sort of crown about her because of the stance that she has when it comes to life. Hip hop, being a black woman, being black in general, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of people on here who kind of resonate with the way that everybody is kind of feeling in my overall generation, I feel. So, I mean, this list doesn't make me feel anything. It just makes me think that this is yet again another list. It's just a list of rappers who are women. That's all that I feel. I don't think this is based off of anything in relation to anything that matters as far as being a professional artist goes.
I feel that.
So to catch up Mojo a little bit, because I really feel him on that. I really do. Because he's kind of walking in the same vein that we were at.
Yeah.
How do we as one, is there two different lists? Should there be two different lists? Should there be an industry list and an actual real hip hop list? and what is real hip hop in comparison? Is it rappers or is it the full culture? Like, you know what I mean? Are you doing graffiti art as well as rapping and also breakdancing on the weekends?
Right.
I'm old. My hips can't handle that no more. But what's the criteria anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like to say that this rapper, this artist is a real hip hopper versus just a rapper who, or someone or an artist who just uses rap as a vehicle. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you think Fred Durst is a real rapper?
No. That's the thing.
Is he hip hop?
No. Fred Durst was able to write down some words really well that rhymed. Yes, for what he was doing. It wasn't like groundbreaking. You know what I'm saying? It just for what he was doing, he was cool.
Right.
Yeah.
But I would just hip hop. Right.
Yeah, I don't think lists like this are ever going to get the real legitimacy that they need. I don't think that we'll ever see anything like that again, just due to the saturation of how many people are trying to rap these days.
So do we draw the line in the sand then and make our own lists or do their own thing? Since we have a podcast, we have a platform, we have a voice, do we make up our own list? Do we shine light on people that, that the people should be listening for and whatnot? You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Us as a culture,
we should do that.
We do it. No. So I got a no and I got a yes. Okay, I like this.
Yeah,
I think we're responsible in a way for being like, yo, you don't know who this you don't know who this person is. Yo, we got to put you on. Like that's what something like even like something like High Notes is for. Like maybe niggas don't know who this person is. Like we need to tell you who this person is.
That's absolutely. I absolutely 100% agree with that because people need recognition. People need some sort of elevation where they can't get it anywhere else. So I'm totally for that. I'm just not down for the fucking list no more because it's going to continue every year, every month, every quarter. We are going to get a list, and it's not going to be in a way that's being measured by people who have the caliber to actually weigh in on these things.
All right, so that is a good point. That is a real good point. So what if we set the criteria? What if we, I don't know, just put it out in the comments, right? What should we go with the 17 overstandings that KRS-One professes that, really make up hip hop? Should we use the Billboard standard, by impact, by sales, by all of this? Should we use, and I'm putting this out to y'all. This is all going out to y'all at home. Like, should we use some other standard, you know what I mean? Like the Zulu standard, some other standard that puts it all together. I'm down because I do agree with you. Like we keep getting these lists, people keep trying to be like, who's the GOAT and this, that, and the other. And it's like, they got people on there that haven't been on there, who haven't been rapping longer than 5 years. You know what I mean? And
or people who haven't rapped in the last 5 years.
Right, exactly. So it's like, and even in that, how much are we judging by frequency? Do you need to rap every week? Do you need to drop an EP every month to sit there and be to be valid? Or can you drop one every 5 years and be like, yo, this is what I've been through, so this is my reflection piece? Like, how do we gauge how these projects should roll out?
Every 5 years.
I know, right? But some of these new rappers drop every month. So, you know what I'm saying? Some of these new guys
they sound like it too.
I know, but the younger audiences. I mean, I got people that I work with, you know, in my studio and whatnot. They're younger cats. We get a lot of young kids that come in, and they absolutely love that shit. They think it's the greatest thing since Wonder Bread that these guys can drop albums every week and just constantly have something coming out. But then, because they don't get bored with it. But then, you know, my old ass, I'm done. Like, I haven't even listened to the last 4 or 5 things since you dropped, because, like, you know, I haven't had a chance to.
Yeah, so let me know when the real dope one come out, and I'll check that one out. Like, right. I don't want to hear this mid shit you putting out every month because you're trying to appease some motherfuckers that don't understand the concept of letting music resonate with you, so you can really figure out why you fuck with it. Like, dog, I don't give a fuck how much you love an artist or how much you think you love a song. There's no way you're gonna hear that shit the first time and completely understand why you fuck with it the way you fuck with it. It's gonna take time for you to understand why certain elements of that song speak to you the way they do. You're not gonna get it the first time.
I was gonna say that's why they call it digesting. That's why they call it digesting, is because you're supposed to sit with it. When they say you're digesting something, you're analyzing it. Everybody should do that, or savor. Like, don't rush the shit. It came out.
Are you hungry, Mojo? Are you hungry? Because, like, you starting to do all these food things, man. Right now, like savoring, digesting. Like,
no, I'm learning these different terms that can apply to different aspects of life. It's okay. It's okay to only like an album for a good couple of years. It's okay to only have an album out for a good couple of years, because there are things, and if you're good, there's going to be things that can be picked up later, that can be caught later on. If you're listening to it again and again, you're vibing out to it, and you're like, oh shit, like I didn't hear it that way the first time. I was just so excited that my favorite artist put out some music. That's just me wanting to be the first one to listen to the damn album. You know what I mean? And so if people are giving these projects a real chance, then we probably get a little bit more of the straining that we should be getting with a lot of these other artists that are being released or being shown any sort of light. You know, we all have the stance and the point of view of, like, there's so many people who are getting so much more recognition than a lot of people like us who are making we consider to be really good music. Other people agree, but, you know, it's like, not everybody's getting the shine that they deserve. So if we allow ourselves to sit with music instead of just trying to consume everything that just happens to come across the algorithm, then we might have a fair chance at creating a list. But go ahead. Because I'm agreeing. I was about to start, you know, say preach and, you know, jump up in the pews.
No, it's real though, because, like, we actually have to take back the culture. I think we as the independent artists or the producers and the people that work behind the scenes, we kind of need to get people to slow down and to digest. We've supersized it. We've flooded the paint. We've done everything to overload everybody with a just constant flow of media, but we don't ask the question why. You know, when an album used to drop, at least back in the day when I was growing up, you kind of had a feeling that they wanted to say something. You know, when Machiavelli dropped, you were like, oh, what's the cryptic message that my man's got for me in Revolution, right? When, you know, Nas dropped his album, you know, what's the story? Well, how, honestly, it's a report card of how New York was doing. Like, that's how I felt, you know, and because I'm from the West Coast, so I just, like, I don't know, you know, I got some homies there, but they're not telling me how things go. Oh, Nas is telling me now, right? So it's like, and those albums you listen to that album for 2-3 years, like, you know what I mean? And it would be one
took them
track
that long to
after
put
another
one out,
right? You know, because it was they took the time, they crafted something that came from the heart, really. And I don't know, some of these new artists, I ask them, why did you write what you write? Because I'm making their music videos, I'm working with them on their projects and stuff, and they just like, I don't know.
I thought it's.
I'm like, really? It sounded cool, and I was just like, but you said something really poignant right there. Do you even know why you said what you said? Because like, if I want to make a music video that matches this energy, right? I want to know if this is going to be true to what you're trying to do. And it's like, man, I just knocked that out. Okay, so you don't really care about your work. You just shitting stuff out, which I guess if that's what you do. But Prince would do an album every day. You know what I'm saying? But he at least cared about it. He didn't put the stuff out because he wasn't ready. It wasn't what he was thinking. You know what I mean? Like it didn't fit his brand.
That you just said Prince, and it just led me even further into the question that was bubbling in my brain that whole time. So here's my thing. Say we do say, okay, we're gonna draw a line in the sand. Here's where it gets tricky. In that case, where does somebody like Nas end up? Where does somebody like Coogee Rap end up? Like the thing is, they are undoubtedly us. You know what I'm saying? But it went the other way, and I honestly feel like a lot of it was it going that way with them just being them. Like I don't even think they did no necessary finagling or shenanigans for it to go that way. Like it just happened. Nas's first album before Illmatic ever touched the streets, that shit was like waiting on the 10 Commandments to drop. You feel me? So, when the whole world stopped for me the day Machiavelli came out, I didn't go nowhere or do nothing. I went and got it, went the fuck home, started rolling blunts, and hit play all day long.
That bell intro.
You know what I'm saying? So like,
it's like
the questions for me come into play for people like Nas, for people like we want to keep them here. Like even Kendrick, one of the biggest artists in the world, but he's undoubtedly us.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? So
what's the debate here? What are we choosing? Do we have to throw them out because they're making money? Do we have to throw them out because they're popular? I don't think that's the case.
But we're saying
that's why I don't want to do it.
But we're saying industry, right?
Yeah.
We're saying industry. Guess who's powering the industry for them to even have the wiggle room to throw out all these little wannabe has been, never gonna be ass motherfuckers? Guess who giving them the fuel to do it? J. Cole, Drake, Kendrick, Future. Them niggas are creating the engine for all that other shit. Not
just like Dre did back in the day, just like Timbo did back in the day, just like DJ Clue and all the rest of them did back in the day.
You know what I'm saying?
Because the only avenue we have to work with is within the industry's framework, right? Def Jam showed that, you got a bunch of homies from the block that sit there, how to rap. We got to get them into the industry; they can get paid, right? So that's what we've been operating on. But now we're getting judged based on sales, and we know that's not the case anymore. That shouldn't be the case. It should be skill. We should, evolve, grow up, mature a little bit. That it's not just, we got in the door. We see this now. We have our own labels now. We do our own stuff. We don't need to have their bellboys validate us anymore. You know what I'm saying? And that's really what it comes down to. We're playing these games about who's valid and who's not. And it really comes down, that's where it's subjective, right? Because when Common was talking about Chicago, everybody thought he was valid in Chicago, right? Because they're talking about their strife, their stuff. Every griot that comes up out of a town, right? They're valid. But if they get taken by the industry and they're only pushing industry stories, industry's tropes, stereotypes, and whatnot, and they don't help the community, that's not hip hop. So that's why it needs to be two separate lists. There's industry rappers that just say whatever the fuck, and then there's hip hoppers that help build their community up. You know what I mean? Or talk about the real story, or do a real reflection on the story and love the culture of where it comes from. That's just me. Go ahead. Sorry.
This is I saw something earlier today. Somebody asked at work. Somebody asked me. They sent it to me on Teams. It said, "Hey, what you think?" And I realized that when I was looking at this, I was like, "This could tell me a whole lot about a person if I ask this question about what their answer is." It was one of those 4 things on a picture. And it was like, pick one. Which one you playing first? It was the Game documentary album, 50 Cent Get Rich or Die Trying, Lil Wayne, the Carter 3, I think, and Kanye West, Graduation. And I said, all 4 of those albums are really good. So now we got to figure out what exactly. I said, once I get past the layer of just having competent rapping, Wayne's album officially goes out the window for me.
Mm-hmm.
That's precisely where it begins and ends for me with that album. So that leaves 3. That leaves The Game documentary album, 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying, and Kanye West, Graduation. Kanye West, Graduation is one of my favorite albums ever. 50 Cent, Get Rich or Die Trying is one of my favorite albums ever. The Game documentary album is one of my favorite albums ever. Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm gonna ask y'all. Out of them 4, you can only pick one. The other 3, you can never hear them again. You can only have one.
You never hear them again. What do you mean?
Which one you take?
What do you mean?
Graduation.
Which one you take?
Graduation.
For you?
Mm-hmm.
I kind of knew that was gonna be there.
That was easy. Yeah, that's an easy one.
I knew it. What about you, Pete?
I'm tossed up, man, because like Graduation, yeah, it's definitely that one. But The Game, the documentary album, though. Yeah, the documentary album, though.
Game low key got one of the best discographies in the history of hip hop.
You know,
his discography is crazy. That boy know how to make an album if he don't know how to do nothing else with his weird ass.
No, I have to go with Kanye West. Unfortunately, it's crazy. I don't think to do that because you know me, Kanye. So I just, it's well put together all the way around, and you can listen to it on multiple levels. So
I'm about to see how well y'all know me right now. Which one y'all think I picked?
I think you chose the Carter 3.
Yeah, Carter 3. I thought you were definitely down for the Carter 3, man. I thought that was your shit.
Get Rich or Die Trying.
Yeah. 50.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The reason for that for me was, to me, Get Rich or Die Trying and the documentary are very much the same. One just from New York and one from Compton. Mm-hmm. And it just so happened that, so 50 the way I sided. But like I absolutely love the Graduation album. I actually Kanye's first 3 albums and My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy for me are all classics that I will keep in rotation regardless of how fucking weird he gets. I don't have any Wayne albums in my permanent rotation. He has some records that I really, really like. As far as albums, I don't have any Wayne albums in my heavy rotation. 50 Get Rich or Die Trying, probably the only album of his that's in my heavy rotation. He had some real dope records on the other albums after that, but I mean, for me, Get Rich or Die Trying is like the epitome of complete bodies of work for me. But that wasn't his first album. For all y'all that don't know, that wasn't the first one. Like Power the Dollar was dope too, though. And Games, like I said, he's his discography's nuts, man. That guy's crazy. He crazy, like in a good and a bad way. In a good and a bad way, he's crazy. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's your cousin. That's your cousin.
Yeah. He kind of is. I can't lie, but yeah. West Coast, LA, you know what I mean? Just we have a vibe and he just fits it. I'm sorry, he fits that so well.
Man. I've been seeing DMX pop up a lot lately. I don't know why it was like, it's like all of a sudden out of nowhere I just started seeing DMX everywhere, and I was like, man, what the fuck, what's going on? And I started like, is it close to the anniversary of his passing or something? Like, what's going on?
That's what I thought.
And but nah, it's just like, I think what we seeing right now, and I think it's a good thing. from the culture. Hip hop in and of itself has finally aged some. You know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about the culture now. I'm not talking about rap music. I'm not talking about the music industry. I'm talking about hip hop. Period. Ain't no record deals or none of that involved in none of what I'm saying right now. Hip hop had to grow up and figure out exactly who it was. And now that's starting to come become a clear vision. You're starting to see people start to reach. We're starting to understand we need to reclaim the culture, and people are starting to do it. One of the things I want people to remember is that there was a point in time when Jay Prince, Irv Gotti, Suge Knight, a couple other people were going to get together to create a distribution company so that they could stop having to go through Universal and all these other assholes who wanted to control the culture. The moment that started coming to fruition, they all got raided. The feds raided every one of them.
Wow.
Every one of them. Now, side note, Murder Inc. will have you believe that that's the reason why they didn't come back at 50 Cent. We know better. But anyway, I just want people to be mindful of that. There's been, ever since that happened, for a stretch, niggas was shook. You know what I'm saying? But then, like, little by little, people started being like, yo, you know what? No, we can do this. We can do this. Like, stop. We can do this independent. We don't got to do that. And if we do business with them, we can do it on our terms. But we got to make them come to us. Simple as that. That's what Griselda did. You don't hear Griselda do shit other than what they always done. Because the record label don't control them. They control the ship. You just make sure everybody get it. Motherfucker. and we'll split whatever come from that. And whatever terms we agreed upon. But like, there it is. That's supposed to be the goal. The fucked up part is, and I don't blame Run DMC for this. I don't blame LL Cool J for this. Like, they were the first two rap superstars. Rap superstar group, superstar soloists. The very first. I don't blame them for this. I blame the youth of the culture of hip hop for this. Things started happening. When they started coming into play, nobody was there to say, hey, this thing of ours is going to become something far greater than they ever imagined it would. We probably need to hold on to this. Let's play this a little bit smarter. There wasn't anybody there to say it. The people that were saying it, they was like, fuck out of here. You tripping. What are you talking about? That's why you had very few little boutique labels here and there that were independent. Everybody else was trying to get a deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah.
But
man.
you say that like we're supposed to know. You know what I mean? Like, hip hop is only 50 years old. So in cultural wise, it's only 5. That's like asking an infant, like, yo, do you want to go and do this with the rest of your life, or you want to be this person? Like, they don't know yet. We didn't know.
Exactly.
They were throwing all kinds of money at us. You know what I mean? Like, people getting signed on. It wasn't until a decade, 2 decades later that people started going, hey, these 360 deals are bad. Don't do that. You know, and then you get death row that comes up. You get death row that comes out of that, right? Because they hanging, busting up record labels and that kind of stuff for their money and that kind of stuff because they weren't getting paid. Cube leaves, you know, the label because he wasn't getting paid, takes his right. So I mean, that's the growing pain, right? They were the first ones to go through it. I get mad at the ones that keep thinking that the deal by the industry is the thing. When they see guys like E40 and they see other people that do it independently that still make big splashes, you know, sell mad records and have all the clout they want in their respective hometowns and around the world even, and they still think that the industry is going to take care of them. Or they still want to get respect in the culture when they sold out the culture when they signed the dotted line. Like, that part, right there. I don't understand. So I don't like the whole culture itself. Like you said, it's maturing. So we need to decide now where we want to go, because we don't need industry now, because you can distribute stuff on your own, like you said, independently and that kind of stuff. There's labels, there's networks starting to come up that want to only run independents. and that kind of stuff. So you don't need to sit there and go to the industry. But I know you got to eat right now. And some of this is, obviously investment. You got to invest in yourself, but you've been doing it. Like for you, like guys like, you Mojo, you've been putting out your own albums and stuff like that. You've been working on your own stuff and doing it, right? Mm-hmm. If you knew that you had an opportunity, but you got to wait a couple of years to be able to reap the benefit, I think that's where the maturity comes in, is knowing that, this is going to be something like you said, Seth. And so we need to hold on to that. So like you need to hold on to your rights and then sell it off to a label. You need to sit there and we need to hold on to the culture and keep it within the culture and not give it away in such a way where it's disrespected and bastardized. Anyway, soapbox done.
Nah, you crazy. Mojo, I got a question for you because it's something that we discussed when we were talking about the list previously. But I think it does have some bearing in what we're talking about right now. In regards to the list, right? Mm-hmm. Or any list that you see, how much does it detract from? And this is even with people with quote unquote legendary status. How much does it detract from their position on any list that you may have seen them on to know that they don't write their own stuff?
Oh. If this is a question of like, is it weird to have a ghostwriter? The answer is always going to be a yes.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's kind of the nature of the question. I mean, but like you got to think like we got like say like Queen Latifah. Everybody loves Queen Latifah. You know what I'm saying? They like, oh man, Queen Latifah was some people's introduction to rap because she wasn't threatening to them. You know what I'm saying? She was saying what she was saying, but like I ain't saying it in a way like I'm gonna fuck you up. This is just the reality of the situation. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I mean, like I love Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah was the first person who was gonna give me a record deal. She was gonna sign me to Flavor Unit Records off the strength of a freestyle. You know what I'm saying? So I love Queen Latifah, but I'm also well aware that probably 65% of her catalog, she ain't writing. Maybe a little less, especially later on. But like some of her biggest records that we know that she known for, she ain't write that shit.
I wasn't aware. I'm gonna be quite frank with you. I didn't know. But I do think, then it does impact her position on my list, or what I would consider to be something that would be added to a list. So I mean, immediately as soon as you say Queen Latifah, I'm like, oh, okay, so it's probably just her image in hip hop that kind of makes everybody stand out. I don't necessarily know if it's going to be the lyrics because they didn't all come from her. Most of my favorite people, rappers, all their lyrics came directly from their brain, tweak here and there, maybe a critique, but not entire verses, not 8 bars. You know what I mean?
Jesus. I can appreciate that. And one of my favorite things I ever seen in my life was I was watching this shit called Rapture on Netflix. And it was an episode with Nas and Davies. And Nas was like, yeah, man, like Jungle was in the studio with me one day. Jungle was Nas's younger brother, for those of y'all who don't know. I'm sure both of them already aware. But they was in the studio and Jungle was in there and he wrote down, all I need is one mic, one beat, one page. And that's all he had on the paper. Nas walked over and read it and said, man, give me this. And then finished writing the song. You know what I'm saying? And that one line sparked an entire record for Nas. Jungle ain't know what to do with it. You know what I'm saying? So like, if you say a line, fucking around, and I'm like, don't be surprised if you hear that. You know what I'm saying? In my brain, if you ain't putting that on a record and we just fucking around and freestyling or some shit, and I say, hey, I'm gonna use that, and you don't tell me now, I'm gonna do something with it, then it's free game. we just fucking around. I'm never gonna sit here and say, yo, Mojo, I got this beat, man. Can't figure out what it. Hey, you write me in 16 and shit to do on this joint? Never in my fucking life.
I'm gonna be like, no.
I won't rap if I got to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But like,
I mean, I thought that was anti-hip hop. I mean, I thought that was literally legit, like against all rules, sacrilege where they have you strung up by your, by your short and curlies, and Wu-Tang's doing the things that they talked about in that one damn video, and the one, album. I mean, I thought that's what. I'm not a rapper, so I don't know. I mean, you guys got to clear up to me if it's allowed even to call yourself hip hop and then not write your own lyrics. I mean, is that legit allowed?
This is, and that's why I said there's a tricky area in this, because I know without a question, Queen Latifah loves DJing, breakdancing, graffiti, loves MCing. As a rap artist, she don't write all the shit.
Mm-hmm.
But in my brain, that makes her less of an MC. It don't make her less hip hop though.
Right.
I know she loves hip hop. Just
right.
You wasn't ready for this. Somebody else had to get you there. You know what I'm saying? Okay, cool. When it comes to that, I gotta detract from any list that you on in regards to that. I gotta detract from your position on that, because that's what that's supposed to be about.
Mm-hmm.
So is this an MC's list or is this a rapper's list?
This is an MC's list. It's always going to be an MC's list.
I don't know.
If it's our list, it's an MC's list.
If it's our list, so then that's the criteria. Is that you deduct 5 points for 2 years. Queen Latifah had people writing for.
Hey, Coop.
Right? And yeah, you talk Coop. So
yeah, he kind of phased in and out like he was on Ghost and shit.
That's kind of how he lives here, like he just phasing in and out. Shout out to Cooper, slime tires. Anyway, but no, like legit, like just knock off the points. We just reduce the MC level, right? If you got somebody like you said, Nikki writes her own stuff, been writing her own stuff forever, right? Then cool, she stays on top of that list. That's probably why she is on the top of that list, right? Because she does write her own. Impact, she definitely has an impact, right? Queen Latifah is higher on that list because she does have an impact. She just doesn't write her own rhymes, so the MC level is lower. I mean, I'm not mad at that ranking, but we just have to be clear about the criteria to how we're gauging these things, because
absolutely,
I don't want to be called bullshit later,
You guys, my bad. I was going to talk about the rap report card that Kool Moe Dee did.
Ooh,
word.
Thought that was a good. I thought that was a good like blueprint or structure for the way, because I'm like, what starting point are we at for the points? Is it 100? But this narrows it down to just 10, and it kind of seems like 1 or 2 points are getting deducted. But then again, I don't really know how he kind of got to some of the things that he got to. Like how was he averaging for his letter grade?
Who got?
So it doesn't give the criteria for.
It doesn't give a criteria. No, it has the breakdown of what he was grading, but it doesn't have like the equation for how he got to his letter grade. That's the only part that's not on there.
All right, so hey, Kool Moe Dee, we need you to post up your rubric on how you're actually judging this stuff, so we can make it, make this standard across the board.
Did you use PEMDAS? I need to know.
Yeah, exactly. We're looking to you, OG, to help us. And KRS-One's probably listening to this too.
On Facebook. I should probably hit him up.
Yeah, we should maybe have a summit where we actually sit down with some of the old schoolers and some of the new schools and just be like, yo, that's not fair anymore because I got streaming, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, well, I'm doing I got a whole following, so they need to understand how the new industry works and how the old industry works. We need to come up with new criteria and take the power back. And Chuck D, if you want to be on this, I'm talking to you too. Fight the power. I just want to sit in the room with y'all, man. With Chuck D,
I mean,
come on, Charles.
It's crazy. It's crazy because I think it's wild when you look at it because of some of the people that Moe Dee gives A's on this thing. I'm kind of like,
right.
But I mean, at the end of the day, you're not necessarily just grading them off of. Like, I know what the first thing I look for in an MC is the bars. Period. That's the very first thing. You know what I'm saying? After that, I'll figure everything else out. But you got to be saying something. Like it's either got to be punchlines and they got to be crazy. It's got to be a story. You got to be weaving some real stream of consciousness type, but dope shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's got to be that.
Paper cut.
To me, I think the master of stream of consciousness rap is Black Thought. He's the master of that, without question. He's absolutely outstanding. He has a valid argument. When people say, I've heard people say Black Thought's the greatest ever, and I'm like, I can't even be mad you said that. Like I want to argue with you, but I mean I can, but I can't. Like I get it. Absolutely, I get it, because he's been that for a very long time. Since the early 90s, Black Thought been out of this world on the mic. Like he's crazy. So when you're talking about a report card, then we got to figure out who are the people who even meet base level to even be graded. Like there's some people who like, why would I even bother grading? Like why would like somebody no diss, but why would I grade Blueface? I don't like nothing about nothing you do. As a person, as a rapper, nothing. I don't listen to your shit. The one time I tried to, you was so off the beat, you made me think I was dumb. So why would I grade you? I ain't got nothing good to say. It's gonna be an F all day long. And that ain't even fair to you. So over there. How do we even decide who get graded?
So do we even break it down by like categories? Do we keep them in the lane? Do we hit them in like that? It's kind of like the Olympics, right? Like if I'm running track, I'm running the 100, I'm running the 200, and I'm doing long jump, right? You're not grading me on a 4x4, you're not grading me on a 400, right? So right. If I'm a backpack rapper, right? Am I doing the backpack rapper thing? Am I hitting all the things? Am I using all the entendres and all that? If I'm a stream of consciousness rapper, am I speaking about something? Do I have the metaphors and do I keep it flowing through the entire thing? And my breakdown's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and honestly, at that point, I would say, Black Thought's the GOAT, but who sits underneath him at that point? And I think there's a couple rappers that we know of, Mojo, that really fit that bill and that would actually be elevated on that list because they are that good. But then you'd never hear from them. Going back to our original conversation, you'd never hear from them because they're so underground, And so if we're using that criteria, let's do that.
Scribe the verbalist. My nigga. Oh my goodness. Yo. And we was talking about, and I kind of hate you missed the beginning, Mojo, because we started to show up. I mean, realistically speaking, we kind of come in full circle at this point because it's almost like the conversation went in a whole circle. That's dope. Totally unintentional. But we started to show off talking about the hip hop scene in Seattle and how the lack of industry here it definitely has a negative impact. But there are a lot of people who there's a massive amount of gatekeeping going on for some strange reason. Like, why would you do that someplace where there's not? Anyway, there's a massive amount of gatekeeping, but like being that you're from here and that the entirety of your hip hop experience has been in the, you know what I'm saying? Like you started your hip hop experience here. How have you seen a change, be it positive or negative, in how things move as far as the flow of the Seattle music scene, especially as far as hip hop goes?
I haven't really been paying attention for like the past year.
You ain't lying.
Yeah.
You ain't lying.
So I can't really speak to. I mean, that's the thing too. Is like at a certain point, it stopped really looking like competing in the scene. It was just competing to be seen, and that's what I was a little bit more focused on. I didn't even mean for it to come out that way, but it was kind of cool. But
I gotta get it. That was dope.
That's all it was focused on. Like I'm always just thinking about myself. If I'm being absolutely 100% honest, I'm being so hard on myself all the time, and it's always just about what am I contributing? Am I good enough to be contributing? That's all that I ever focus on. So when I was actually paying attention and actively a part of it, I felt like it was at an incline. I didn't really see much of anything that looked like a decline because there was elevation in a small orb of people and it was moving so smoothly. And this is like bringing it back to TTS and AU. That felt like consistent, steady movement in a way that felt good and felt natural, you know. I think with what we did with Takeover and seeing those things, I didn't notice anything different. It all looked the same to me. I didn't see anything different. All I saw were other people who were trying to do the same thing I was doing. It stopped being like who's contributing or whatever. It was like, you're trying to get into the same position I'm trying to get into. That's where I need to now shift my focus on, am I even doing something worthwhile? So I didn't see a decline or an incline, an increase of the music scene becoming better or worse. I think it's because I ended up feeling like I had seen it all within our own community. I feel like I've seen it all within our own community. You have your different type of rappers, and this is honestly any state in the country. I mean, probably anywhere in the world at this point. But you're able to pinpoint what kind of rapper this person is, and then you're just like, are you good or are you not? Okay, cool. Then I know that I'm going to be good, or I'm going to be needing to try a little bit harder to be better. So I haven't noticed if it was doing anything to elevate the scene in Seattle hip hop. I know that I see certain people circulating a little bit more on social media, but that doesn't really give me any sort of indication of like, oh, are they making Seattle look good or whatever. It's just like, okay, here we go. Somebody else has got it, where I just need to stay the course. I just need to stay focused. That's that's an everyday thing for me.
Okay,
that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's interesting. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, that's really, because I mean, you going all the way back to TTS and stuff like that, and then just, you know, us starting with this conversation saying that there was no industry. I mean, when I got here, there was no industry, none. You know, and you haven't seen it change. And I would say, from my perspective, it's changed a lot. Where the infrastructure Seattle has hip hop community, has a really strong hip hop community. And then, so what that means for me is like, you got venues that you can go to hear hip hop. You got your festivals. You're included in the cultural, in the area festivals and stuff. But there's no vehicle to go forward past being in the community. So you just exist here, right?
Right.
And so when you said, exactly. And so when you said you just fight to be seen, you know, I mean, that's actually, that makes way more sense from my perspective, seeing it, because I want to put you guys on. Like, my whole job is to put you guys on. I'm a media guy, right? And so it's like trying to get you in front of people so you could be seen is the hardest thing. And yet there's people everywhere. It's just, we just don't, like, how do we get you seen? I mean, Arliss, shout out to Arliss from Black Magic Noise. He has this one song, You Could Be the One They Talk About, you know, and the refrain at the end is, you know, I just want to be seen. I just want to be seen. And so, like, that's crazy.
Let's come on sidebars. Let's come on sidebars. It's a subliminal message. Let's come on sidebars. Anyway, yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. Yeah, I for one am very I feel like I'm very fortunate that I've been able to find the different pockets of the hip hop community that I've been able to, you know, attach myself to out here. And it's two very different communities. So like, when I be with one group of people, I don't be around the other group of people, and then when I be with this group of people, and then whenever we doing a show here, these people ain't coming because they don't mix with these kind of people over here. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is in regards to that. But I'm glad that I was able to find both of those, and I've been able to find multiple. But like, it just was a matter of like, I don't belong here. Like, it's cool that y'all doing y'all thing over there, and I support that. Like, and I, you know, if some shit popping off, I'll share some shit, or, you know, I might even slide through a party now and then. You know what I'm saying? But a show now and then. But like, nah, nah, I'm cool. So I'm glad that I've been able to find a foundation here, because for so long it was this. it was the same foundation but different because we moved around a lot. We traveled a lot of time, a lot of out of town shows, a lot of out of town everything. Like, of course, we did heavy shit in North Carolina too, but you know what I'm saying, it wasn't just that. So like the foundation was the same because when we come home, we know, boom, hey, we gonna be at the spot. We know who coming. With like for the most part, we got a good idea who gonna show up. So you know what I mean, there's that. But I worry sometimes that too many artists, especially, and I can say in Tacoma and Seattle because those are the two places where I know the most people. Can't speak for what they're doing in Spokane. God forbid. I have no idea what the fuck y'all are doing. Anyway, but in Seattle and Tacoma, it's weird to me when I talk to somebody that lives in Tacoma and I'm like, yo, so I did this show in Seattle. Like, oh man, you did a show in Seattle? Like you said that like it was some massive accomplishment that I did a show in Seattle. Have you? I know a guy, no bullshit, on everything I love. This nigga's 36 years old, Tacoma native. He's never been to Seattle. Ever. Not one time in his life has he been to Seattle. And don't want to go. Hey, more power to you, bro. It is what it is, but
it takes a lot of dedication to be like that because I've heard stories of people who don't want to travel outside the state and have no concerns to experience anything outside of their state, but to not travel to a city is wild to me. I couldn't do it. At
least one time,
pass through, perhaps, maybe stop for a moment.
Right.
But he ain't been as far as north. He ain't been past Kent.
That's crazy. There's so much everywhere.
All right.
Well, that's crazy. The lack of concern.
These towns are so close together. Honestly, like to be an hour away from each other and you don't go an hour outside. That's the same kind of thing for like cats that don't want to leave their neighborhood or leave their stoop. I never understood that. I know safety and you want your home and all that, but I never understood that you don't want to explore nothing outside of what you already know. That
he never been to Portland either.
Has he been to Olympia? I mean, because
I was about to say the farthest south he been is Olympia. Yeah, farthest south.
Oh my god! Yeah.
Did you ask him why?
He was like, "Dog, why I need to go anywhere else? Everything I need right here." I was like,
"That's the same answer that everybody gives. Like, why? I mean, I get."
I was like, "You don't want to see no new shit? Like, you don't want to see things like, yo,
things are different.
Like, yo,
everywhere.
I hear shit about other places. It ain't good. I'm cool. I'm all right here." And I'm like, "Yo, I can't even be mad at you because I understand, like you said, like that's the thing. You worried about feeling safe somewhere else, and you from Tacoma. I don't get that. But anyway, but my whole thing with that ends up becoming at a point the same thing that I wonder about why people won't come from Tacoma to Seattle to come to a show, especially for one of their people. But like but see you. Okay, check this out. This is the thing, and I'm getting ready to just lay it out flat. This is some bullshit, and I want y'all to know how much bullshit this is. I'm gonna just put it in the air for you right now. Bang. Rapper A is your homie. You see them on a regular basis. Occasionally, y'all might be in the same spot, get a drink together, whatever. You know what I'm saying? But you know in your brain, and you tell people, this motherfucker's dope. Y'all don't know about my nigga. He crazy with it. That's what you tell him. Rapper A has a show at Club X in Seattle. And it's in South Seattle. You ain't even got to go deep. Pause. Your excuse is gas, man. Couldn't get up there. Okay. The admission price to go see rapper A, who's your homie, $10. $10 at the door, you in. And because rapper A don't drink when he perform, you get 2 free drink tickets because he don't want to drink.
That's nice. Yeah, that's very good.
But you ain't get the 2 drink tickets because your monkey ass ain't come. Because of gas and $10. Rapper B come to town. Performing at the arena. Admission price $150 fucking. And you got to drive up and pay for parking. When you would have came to Rapper A show, you could have parked for free right on the side of the motherfucking street.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying, dog, the math ain't mathing. Y'all got to stop doing this fake support shit y'all be doing. That shit's crazy to me. I don't understand it. Like, if I fuck with somebody, I fuck with them. And dog, I can't tell you the number of times I've gone out of my way to fuck with somebody because I fuck with them like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, I need to be in the bed sleep right now, nigga, but I'm coming to the show to see you get busy. Let's go. Get to it. And I'm going to be right up front. Hands in the air like this, nigga. Yeah, I know. I know who I am. Don't worry about that. I'm still a fan, nigga. Don't worry about that. You know what I'm saying? Oh, nah, man. These motherfuckers is wild, bro. I'm telling you. So y'all people, crazy.
Crazy. No, that's real. That's real. I never understood that. Like ever since I got here, I would see on Facebook or on like Instagram or whatever, hey, I got a show going out, and then hundreds of people be like, yeah, I'm gonna be there, and then you show up thinking, oh man, I better hurry up and get there because all these people been saying they're gonna show up. I don't want to get locked out, you know, because these venues are small, you know. And I show up and there'd be 2 people there, and we like, when's the show starting? Oh, we starting in about an hour because we want to give a chance for people to show up.
Right.
Oh, was it supposed to start at 9? We're gonna start it at 11:30 then. Okay.
You feel me? 11:30.
But see, okay, this is where I have to play.
Now they got 7 people.
Right? Mm-hmm. Right? We make it work though. So this is where I gotta play a little 10th man, right? This is where rappers or artists in this area need to demand their prices. I have never seen a donation at the door except for a charity. You know what I'm saying? I've never seen a show consistently. People throw shows and it's donation at the door. You just what?
Yeah, that's crazy.
You got. I mean, I get. If you just starting first day, you know, you don't know. You only got a following. Cool. You've been rapping for 27 years, sir, and you should know how much this costs you to throw this whole show and all this other stuff. Why are you taking donations?
Right.
This is not a charity, son. This is your job. Like you should get paid for your job. You're gonna perform. You're gonna give a hell of a performance because they usually do. Why are we not paying?
Talk that.
And like, and art and okay, audience members, you know, fans or whatever. Why the hell you don't got $10? $10? You can't even throw 5. I've seen donations for 2. Like seriously, you can't even come up off of $2. Like. If you go to San Francisco, you go to LA, you're paying $26 just to get in the door, right? And they'd be bootsy ass rappers just to get in the door. And then you got to sit there and be like, oh, this room over here, that's for the special people. So you got to pay another $5 to get in that. And plus it's a 2-drink minimum. So you got to pay at least $15 for that. You're already paying like, you know, $38 before you even see the show start.
Mm-hmm.
Like, but we do it for donation. For the poor. You know, that's how we do here in Seattle. So I don't
it's crazy when you make that comparison, fucking charity to it. It's like, no, you're right. Nah, man, you're fucking absolutely right. Like, where's the structure? Where's the certainty? But
okay, when we talk about certainty, all right. So now I have to call out all these promoters or these fake ass promoters that are out here. Like I've watched now for the last decade. Right, you say that you're gonna promote these dudes and get them paid, and suddenly something always goes wrong at the end of the night, right? You know, we sold all the tickets, we did the things, but you know, we couldn't cover our costs. I'm sorry, man, I couldn't pay you out $30 funky. Like, and you know who I'm talking about. Like everybody knows. That's why we don't have promoters out here no more because we ran them out. $30. You can't even pay $30 out for 3 rappers. Like really? So yeah, nah. The lack of respect for the game, the lack of respect for the craft when it comes to like the business side of the craft hurts my soul. And so I'm going to, if I stay here, which I'm going to stay here because I like it here. My kids are here. My family's here. I'm changing it. I'm going to do whatever I can. And so you might see it coming out later on, but I'm going to do whatever I can to change that shit. It bugs me to know it.
you know, I think that this shit is somewhat hilarious actually. The thing that I think is most hilarious is and I mentioned this before, and I'll say this in closing, but rappers, do yourselves a favor. Rappers, singers, anybody, independent artists, do yourself a favor. Don't let the gas smother you. Okay. And I say that to say this: you're going to be surrounded by people, especially when you first start, when it first become a thing. You're going to be surrounded by people who are going to be like, oh man, this the lick, you the man, da 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 da, blah blah blah, so forth and so on. Okay. Them same people at some point either going to vanish, disappear off the boat, unexplained, without explanation. There will be some rift that's created. Something's going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's imperative in your journey in this shit that you don't let that shit cloud your vision, cloud your judgment. I know for a fact that I have no doubt that none of the people that's in my circle will tell me, that ain't it, bro. Do it again. Them the people you need around you. Them the people you need to help you build a solid career and make a solid albums, not just a song here and a song here and a song here. The epitome of your artistry is going to be the complete bodies of work that you create. And you got to be able to stand on that. I can look in any mirror you put me in front of and tell you I stand on every single project. That you can go down the whole list. Go to Spotify and scroll, nigga. I stand on every one of them. Every single one. As a matter of fact, I got a joint that me and AP featured on with my man Joe Grizzly. And the very first line of the verses, I stand on every bar I ever wrote. Nobody immune. Flinch, I will air the Pope. You feel me? Like no bullshit. But anyway, I'm just joking. Am I? But yeah, so I'm just saying. I would love to know that moving forward, you know what I'm saying, as far as the especially the MCing part. I used to DJ. I don't DJ no more. I can't speak for DJs. I can't speak for graffiti writers. I can't speak for B-boys or B-girls. I can only speak for MCs because that's what I do. You know what I'm saying? I can only speak to what's happening now or what's gonna happen from the perspective of MCing of myself. Because even myself as an MC, I'm not Mojo Barnes. I'm not Monster Elicit. I'm not Soul the Interrogator. I'm not No C. I'm Seven Da Pantha. And that's it. So even that is going to change my perspective. There's aspects of MCing that I might consider that Mojo might be like, that don't even make sense. And vice versa. Because of when we came in the game, how we learned, who we learned from, all of those things matter. But the moment I heard Mojo say, oh, if you don't write your own shit, fuck that. I was like, yeah. I fuck with him. That's what's up.
That will always be a thing. That cannot change. That cannot change because that's how it started.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh man, I think I have a dying child in my house. I don't know. I gotta go find out. But
yeah, hell yeah, man. Think of that shit.
I'm about mobile for that nigga.
Let him die.
That's child.
Make another one.
Hold up. I was just joking. I was just joking. Oh shit, was I? But yeah, so y'all already know, man. Salute the Monster Elicit, man. Hope you're enjoying your time, bro. We'll see you when you get back. Don't forget, next week we're gonna get into some we're gonna talk a little politics, and we also got Renee Davis from Melanin Mayhem coming through. If I'm not mistaken, I think we also got the return of High Notes. So We're gonna get into some things, man. Y'all already know how we do. Thank y'all so much for rocking with us. Make sure that you subscribe, share, comment, all that fly shit. Make sure, and we definitely talk back to you. If you are on Spotify or any of the other systems that allow you to do so, please give the show a 5-star rating. It makes it easier for people to find us, bumps us up in the algorithm and all that good stuff. If you're on YouTube or Rumble, make sure you give us a like. Drop us a comment. Let us know you locking in with us. Salute to everybody on the network. The brothers over at All Purpose Podcast. Evan Almighty. Phantom. I see y'all. We rocking out Monday Night Live as always. Salute to Soul the Interrogator. Interrogation Room Podcast. We got Sidebars with Ilpo out right now. I'm about to interview Drugs Beats this weekend. It's about to be fun. I'm about to enjoy that. We also got a Sidebars with Indigo Phoenix coming. Yeah. We working, man. Pantha Politix Network ain't nothing. Pantha Politix Network ain't nothing to fuck with. You heard me, nigga? We flying at everybody on behalf of Monster Elicit, Mojo Barnes, P7. I am Seven Da Pantha. Thank you, Echo Limitless, Pretty Kings. We'll catch y'all next time, family. Peace.